because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
Thought the game was over, but it's only just begun.
Welcome to Land Massacre, known as Safe. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So I want to go over The Strangers Chapter 1. Now, Wondercon was a few days ago where there was a panel for The Strangers Chapter 1, and a lot more new information has come out on the film in general. Now, on the panel, we had Rennie Harlan, the director, we had Froy, Gutierrez, we had Madelaine, Petsch, and Courtney Solomon to talk more about the film in depth, to see what kind of nuggets we can kind of pull out of this on what we're dealing with here. A lot of people were kind of confused on even watching the trailer. Is this a prequel? Is this a reboot? Is this, you know, we've heard that it takes place in the same timeline. Like, what is this? With the information that we did gather, this is a reboot within the universe of The Strangers. How The Strangers became The Strangers. So all you're seeing really is a mirrored image of the first movie from a long time ago, really just modernized, and you know, kind of a few changes are going to be made to that first film, and then going to the last two films with a little bit of background from the characters, and we'll kind of get into some of that in this video. So obviously, Madelaine Petsch from Riverdale, because I think she's going to be amazing in this film, and she was on the panel talking about a specific scene. I think in the trailer that we do see it when the axe gets hit into the door and her face is right next to it. I think that's one of the scenes that really jumps at you a little bit because you didn't expect it to happen. But she says that the scariest scene to the film was the axe through the door. They had to film that for real. The one thing that everybody wants to know right now, and this was said during the panel, okay, because everybody wants to know, even with the second and third movies coming out in 1 year, they're already filmed, you know, what is going to be the change in this new trilogy? You will learn about what makes the Strangers tick without hearing a word from them in chapters 1, 2, and 3. This is where the change is going to happen, because now we're starting to get through the background of these house invaders. And sometimes when you dip into the mystery, it kind of ruins it for a lot of these franchises. They've done it with Halloween. They've done it with Jeepers Creepers. They've done it, and it's kind of ruined. It just depends on the character, really. I wouldn't say it ruins everything, but they have to really be careful while doing this, because the story has to really be cultivating. It has to really put us on the edge. I mean, the good thing is none of these killers are going to talk, which is great. I can't complain about that at all. But you know, sometimes you go through that mystery in the background of certain characters, and hopefully it's not a stupid idea. And really, when we get into these second and third movies, we're going to see more of, you know, why the Strangers became the Strangers. So it is a reboot, but it is a reboot going into these masked invaders backgrounds of why they became who they became. So I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I just hope they're really careful with it, and you know, it's hopefully it's good because I'm hoping it does really well. I'm hoping that, you know, we get a big 10 out of 10 out of this and it becomes a huge success. Now, Rennie Harlan says he's a huge fan of the original. He learned from A Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and Die Hard 2. You want to give the fans the experience with that title. The original is one of the scariest movies ever. Rennie Harlan, that's worked on some pretty successful franchises in the past, and to go into the Strangers trilogy, I think he wanted to dive into this. Especially you pretty much filmed 3 movies in 1 year, so you know you weren't handing this over to another director for the second film and then the third film. You know, you have one director, one story. He has control over everything, and that's necessarily not a bad thing, because I think we get too many directors being swapped in and out of these films, and sometimes it takes a downfall a little bit. But I'm glad that there is one story throughout the whole thing that he is going to tell within, obviously, the two main characters, which is the girlfriend, the boyfriend in the middle of nowhere getting this Airbnb, to these mass killers that do arrive, these masked house invaders that do trouble their life, you know, for the time being. I think there's a lot of storytelling to tell in this, and hopefully they do a good job on that as well. Now, Rennie Harlan says the story of the 3 movies doesn't go over the period of years, but over 3 days. Rennie Harlan compares the shoot to Apocalypse Now with the rigors of the movies. So that's, you know, so 3 movies, I guess 3 days. Are we actually going to see like action in the daytime? Because really the only time in the original movie is really at the end when you know, the couple, you know, gets killed in the house, and then the, you know, the little boys, you know, the two kids find their bodies in the house, and they, you know, the masked invaders go inside the pickup truck and they drive away, and that's pretty much it. And I think it's a nice, you know, it's definitely a nice change, which I'm actually really excited to see, where it's not going to be all shot in one night, and this is a whole night for 3 different movies connected towards each other. So I thought that was really interesting. And then the last 2 bit of news I kind of want to go over, because this is the most important, okay? Now, we got 3 new posters from The Strangers. We have Pinup Girl, we have Scarecrow, aka Man in Mask, and we have Dollface, and these new posters that look absolutely amazing. They revealed those at WonderCon. And the last bit of news is that The Strangers Chapter 2 is coming out this fall, okay? So got the first movie May 17th, and then we have another movie in the fall, and then I don't know when the next one. I heard we had 3 in 1 year, so I mean, are we getting the next one in, you know, in December? But you know, whether it's December or maybe the start of the new year, we'll see what happens with that. All 3 movies are done. You know, I think what they're waiting for right now is this first movie really gonna hit? Is it gonna make money? The first movie will be in theaters, and I think they're kind of gonna wait on the success. If it succeeds, if it doesn't, to put the second and third movies on Netflix or a streaming service, most likely. They have not said that all 3 movies will be in theaters. The first one, yes, but we'll just have to wait and see. But you know, 3 movies, 1 year, can't wait, and it's just more content for us. And that is it for The Strangers Chapter 1, the news from WonderCon. What do you guys think of it? Are you excited for this film? Has your, you know, I know the trailer got a lot of crap, and I know everyone just seems to hate on everything. I think that we should at least try to give it a chance, see where it goes, and you know, we'll see what happens. I'm really excited for it. I'm a big fan of The Strangers, and I think they're gonna do a beautiful job on it. The only thing I'm kind of weary about is getting into the background and mystery of these masked invaders, and that's where, yeah, that's where I get a little nervous. And hopefully they do it justice. They connect the stories well. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more news on The Strangers or any type of horror news in general. And if you haven't liked the video, please like the video. It does help out the channel out tremendously. And thank you so much for watching the video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Keep running. Peace out.